You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. Accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between.
My name's Adam, and I've spent the last 20 years of my career leading, growing, and building companies and teams for lasting impact. It would be my honor to come alongside you and help you to do the same thing. Whether it's in the corporate world, a brand new small business startup, or a 100-year-old family business, I've seen it and I've led it. Starting with defining your purpose beyond profit, we unlock strategies across every part of your business so that we can arrive at what I call asymmetric endurance, allowing you to get your time back while the business continues to grow, succeed, and achieve its true purpose. If you're ready to build an unbreakable business, let's talk. Book 15 minutes with me today at kingdommindsetstrategies.com.
Hey, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Miracles Online Podcast. Here we are probably doing what we call the continuation second part to online dating, except this one's going to be a little bit more focused in a certain direction, and we're here to talk all about it. I'm Jeff, and this is...
I'm Kat.
And tell us about it.
Okay, well, this is episode 26. Can't believe we've done 26 episodes so far. And the topic of our episode today is Christian Mingle or church single, kind of going in the line with our last episode. And it's going to be laced with the flavor of dating with faith in focus.
Yeah, when I start to do research on this particular episode, in the previous one about online dating versus romance in the office and workplace, I was really trying to figure out what serves us, the public, the best. And I was really surprised when I started to go down the path of faith-based dating sites on just how robust and how diverse it really is. So whether you're Jewish, whether you're Christian or any other religion, there's dating
Hinduism.
sites for you. So let's keep the mind open in regards to, if you have a conviction with, faith and you want somebody who share that with you in your life, this is an excellent, excellent path to go down to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Christian Mingle, I think, is one of the biggest ones.
One of the largest
right?
one. Yeah.
And it's not just an altar call, church dating sometimes, can be less holy than we think. Or maybe online dating could be less holy, but that's really not what it's all about. I think it goes back to, again, being true to ourselves and our faith, and, not just throwing it out going, well, it's digital. It can't be, blessed by God.
Well, if you feel that way, then I will be very surprised, because I think if you truly are connected with God in your heart, everything here is a gift to us.
Absolutely.
So
everything.
But one thing that I wanted to bring up, Christian Mingle's talked about quite a bit because of it's all on television, being shown in commercials, and it has advertisement. But just want everybody to know, I pulled up a couple of other ones. I don't know if everybody was aware. There's an online dating site called Christian Cafe. And then there's one called Big Church and Cross Paths. So there's quite a few out there to select from. Whether you need to be what I call a shotgun effect and everything, I'm going to put my profile in this one and this one and this one, this one, may not necessarily be needed for this. So you want to be discreet, and you want to be able to stay focused in build your profile correctly.
And that's what
Right.
it's all about. And it's not just the bio, Jeff. It's
Yeah.
it's how to keep God at the center, because
Yes.
I've shared with this with you before that I was not on, I was on Matchmaker. I wasn't on a faith-based site when we met. However, in some of the individuals that I spoke with, the ones that would, wear the flag, or banner of I'm Christian, you really have to look at, are they living the Christian values, not just trying to get a green card, if you will, by wearing that label. And so, but that's like anything,
That's right.
any bio is that you want to make sure that, the bio matches who they're presenting themselves
That's
to
right.
be, whether
Yeah.
it's Christianity, whether it's whatever characteristic or value
Yeah.
that it is.
Yeah. You have to pay close attention. You have to make sure that if there's a red flag, that you are aware of it. In other words, don't just sit there and go, oh, this person is great, makes good money, it's got God-fearing principles, and yet they don't act that way. Especially also, you see pictures, they're drinking alcohol, they're on a ship, whatever things that triggers a red flag, pay attention
And
to
it's
it.
not that drinking alcohol isn't godly,
Depends. It can be if you're falling down every day.
Debauchery would be,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
Right.
Right. And that's where look at, is it matching what they're espousing? Because
Yeah.
is there a Shakespearean saying, I think the lady doth protest too much? Really what that means is if you've got someone who's just braggadocious about something, whatever
Right.
it is, their
Right.
sexual prowess, their religiosity, whatever it is, chances are they're trying to make up for a deficit somewhere in that to prove to themselves
Right.
as well as the outside world.
Hey, wait a minute. Isn't that judgy?
No, it isn't judgy. It is discernment.
Okay.
Yes, it's discernment, because we have the right, God-given right to go when we're making our negotiables and non-negotiables. Would that not be judgy? Well, I absolutely have to have this in the characteristics of my significant other. Is that judgy?
No, that's finding the alignment.
There you go. It's making sure that you are aligned.
Yeah.
That's different than just judging someone and making assessments when you don't even know them and
Right.
making judgment. But we absolutely need to have discernment when we're picking
That's right.
what will be the most important relationship probably in our life,
Right.
besides our kids, and
Yeah.
those we don't pick, God does.
Right. Right. So the difference between that, let's say, alignment. I like to read. He likes to read. Okay, well, that's good. If you read too much, is he a bookworm? There's the judgy. And also, oh, look at him. He buys his shoes from Walmart. That's judgy.
I don't think that would be on the negotiables and non-negotiables list. Oh, he must wear whatever.
Let me tell you something about this.
Florsham shoes. Probably no one knows.
And I
what
throw
Florsham
that
shoes
shoe thing in there because there is a culture out there. Okay, younger than me. I'll just say that.
Well, everyone's younger than
Well,
you,
no, gee.
than us.
But it's interesting that they talk about the quality of the branding of your shoe. If that makes you a hipster or a cool guy.
Okay. Well, are you on a dating site looking to be a hipster cool guy?
Well,
This
I
is-
wasn't think so until I shopped at Walmart for my shoes. No, I'm jesting. No lawsuits here from Walmart, please. No, the key point is just saying that, okay, let's put our minds together and let's do something right in sense of how am I finding something aligned, whether it's to be at a church or a Christian dating site. You still have to have your principles. Just saying the word God-fearing doesn't fit everybody's point of view. And that's the part that I was really surprised at.
Well, faith-based, if you're looking for someone who is faith-based, that's a broad spectrum. Then the second part of it is to pay attention to how they're living, how they're walking and talking and living their life. Is it in alignment with someone who is faith-based? And we everyone knows plenty of, faith-based individuals who don't walk the walk.
Right.
you know?
And we're not here to tell you what you should do and should not do. That's not the point
Of
about
course,
that.
yes.
But to be fair,
Authentic. And if you're looking for authenticity,
to be truthfully yourself. If you're going to go down this road, for instance, build a profile on Christian Mingle, don't use it to get something because you know is low hanging fruit by using this association. That is just wrong. So I want to be very clear about that.
okay. So if I'm understanding you correctly, when you say get low hanging fruit, I'm assuming you're suggesting, oh, let me look for the vulnerability in someone who's faith-based, because I'm saying I'm faith-based too. I'm not really, but they'll have their guard down if I say I'm faith-based.
Yeah,
Is that
because
is
there's
that what you're alluding to?
there's a level of paradigm that's already established if you're going into a faith-based dating situation. And what I can see, some people would see that as an opportunity to pray. Just no different than this. I go to AA meetings because I can pick up girls.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Is that a thing?
Well, they portray this type of stuff in televisions.
Television.
And you know what?
I never heard of that.
And-
Wow.
Oh yeah. This is why television
I know I've seen
programming is not
shows
good
with
for everybody.
undercover, like The Mentalist. Remember, he went to AA pretending like he was, but he was trying to
Okay.
get information.
Well, let's just say, what would be easier to get someone to be intimate with you, to have sex, if they're on the rebound and they're not sure of themselves, and here's somebody that they're looking for a support system, and you go in there with a predatory attitude. That's my point.
Mm.
And going into, and I'm addressing this probably from a guy's point of view to another guy. If you're sitting there thinking, hey man, I can put on a nice impression and use,
Maybe you're giving people ideas now. That
No,
they
I'm
haven't
not.
Thought about it.
I'm waking up
Please
people to tell the ladies, number one, watch out for this.
Yeah.
Number two is I'm telling the guys, don't do this.
Okay, so this PSA is not to scare you off of dating apps. It's to raise your awareness.
Mhm.
So what are some things? I mean, I guess the best tip off would be, early on, if someone is on a faith-based site,
Mhm.
Pretty quickly you should be able to discern whether they're living, walking, and talking in faith, or is this just a screen that they're hiding behind?
Right. Well, and that's why.
Like you mentioned one, if you see him drinking or
Well,
partying or this and that, or swearing like a sailor.
Well, I've
using
seen
the Lord's name in vain.
I've seen folks like that go into church and be, loving God and read their Bible too. So it's not.
And absolutely. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we all know and have been exposed to
Right.
Christians, self-professed Christians who don't live the life. They're a Christian on Sunday for an hour, and then the rest of the week they're not. So
Well, they are in their mind,
of course,
but their
they
actions
are
may
in their
not
mind. Right.
may not match to their
Sure.
so-called
And it's
goals.
no different than someone espousing to be anything.
Mhm.
If it's not in alignment with
Yep.
how they are presenting themselves and how they act, speak, talk, treat people,
Yeah.
then that's something to go, okay, maybe we need to fold this deck and go on to the next one.
Right.
The majority of people will be authentic,
Mhm.
but there are those that are not, and those are the ones that we want you to be able to identify and
Mhm.
quickly go, okay, nope, that's not for me.
And find a good match. What I mean by finding good matches, if you come across a profile, I'm a guy, I'm looking through a Christian dating site, and first thing is I'm looking for a God-fearing man. Now, if your faith and your belief in the way you're brought up with your relationship that matches you to that, then that's good. If your upbringing or your relationship to God is not that, then you already know that is not a match. So you need to pay attention in regards to, just because it's a faith-based, it doesn't mean everybody's good for you.
And
Then-
that's whether it's a faith-based
Yeah.
dating app, or let's talk about, are there nuances that are different than that? Very similar, but if you were to, meet someone at church as opposed to a dating app,
right.
You have the same discernment. I think it just takes longer.
We're going to church, and we're going to hear the same message today, and we're going to have the same influence of the circle and the same pastor that's going to show us the message of the day. So I think that collectively is a little bit more closer to home than me, swiping and scrolling.
What do you mean closer to home?
Closer to home mean to the heart,
okay,
to self, and to what I'm looking for as a single man dating, using the opportunity to the faith-based sites. Especially
right,
Christian.
but I'm talking about making a connection with a potential significant other at church. Whether it's a church singles group, which years ago I belonged to a church singles group. The pool was much smaller. There was more women than men.
That.
Yeah, way more women than men. I made some really great women friends.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so much to meet a significant other. There was maybe one guy, two guys in the whole group. So, and then when you're going to church to see, listen, hear the sermon, your chances are slim to, depending on how they have interaction afterwards, coffee, talking, this and that, to meet or hook up with a potential single person.
Yeah.
Whether it's male or female.
And let me bring a real life story into this. And this is for your ladies to pay attention to. And we're not going to name no names. Okay. So very interesting that you brought up the Christian singles group, because there was one time there was a meeting of a Christian singles mixer, as they call it, right? And they bring people in to kind of get to know each other and see if anybody clicks and so forth. This married man went out of town to a Christian singles mixer.
Wow.
So he would not be recognized.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Predatory.
Wow.
There are people that would do this with no conscience, but at the drop of a dime, I do everything for God. I do everything for, right?
Yep.
And this is when you kind of going, how are you doing this with a conscience that you can sleep with? How do you deal with yourself when you act this way? But this person evidently has no conscience about doing this. He has no reservation to seize the opportunity to prey upon somebody's vulnerability just to do what? Have sex. And that's sad. That's very sad. And that's a true story. So the reason why I bring that up to you is be very aware in your mixers, in your singles dating, in your church, especially when you have an event to promote dating and mingling, and hopefully you can find your significant other, because we share similar beliefs and interests.
Absolutely. And bottom line is, you want to keep your spiritual alignment no matter what. Yes. You don't compromise who you are and your spiritual alignment and relationship to God. You just keep your eyes open for the potential, rare but happens predators, as Jeff just mentioned.
Yeah. And the other thing that ties to that is the intimacy. I understand we're all humans. We all long for human touch, and sometimes been too long. I mean, just somebody, please. I understand the thought of those things, but let's be very realistic. If you're looking and wanting to be in the great, fantastic love of your life relationship, don't give into that. Don't give into, I got adored and attentioned, and oh yeah, I know it's not the way I was taught, but I want to be with this person so much because of how they made me feel. You see, that's where the trick is. Are you letting your emotion overtake away from your true self, and also destroying and collapsing that commitment to your relationship with God by kind of ignoring it because I just need this physical need? If you're feeling that, then I would definitely say, hey, you know what? Maybe you're not even ready for dating because you're now in the needy filling a void and you're going away from your faith. You're willing to put your faith aside to have this kind of intimacy or this kind of relationship, even if it's just a short one-time thing or a thing that is just starting off on the wrong foot, right? Like, for instance, I met somebody, so we went out for coffee. I don't know what happened. Next day, I'm going home on a walk of shame. Right? And you telling me that doesn't happen? I've seen it happen way too many times.
Of course.
And
But
the
does the
thing
guy ever do the walk of shame?
no, the guy does the carve of the the notch on the bedpost and go da, 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 because it's so screwed in regards to what the paradigm of greatness in our own perspective genders, that how we revered it and view intimacy and sexuality and to have that kind of relationship just purely physical. I think our media, our society, and what we've been conditioned is putting the man to say, hey, you know what, if you get to do that, hey, that's awesome. But if you're a girl doing that, oh man, what a piece of trash. You're now just below.
Hey, two consenting adults. We're not here to preach you when you should be intimate with someone. Two consenting adults, but to compromise your relationship and your faith with God, only and honor your body, your relationship, what you will put up with and not put up with,
right,
and what your boundaries are, and when your boundaries will be put forth.
Yeah.
So.
And I bring this point up because I care. I care about all of you. I care about us. I care about the world. I am saying this to you because I want to save you from a heartache, because I've seen it too many times of, well, we'll just breach my belief system. We'll just not look at it for a moment, or we just go ahead and step outside of that boundary because it seems to be so right. And these are all emotional, outbursts that you have because you're getting attention. It's exciting. There's infatuation. There's flirting. And all of a sudden, bam, the event's done. And you're sitting there going, oh my God, what did I do? I hope he calls. I hope she calls. Well, he doesn't really think that way. He's like, I did it. Da, 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 da.
You don't know.
You're right. I don't know, because
everybody's different.
There might be a guy that says that was great. Can we do it again? And then it's the girl going, no,
exactly.
Never had it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
A different.
So
time.
The point being is nobody actually got past that first time. Then is it? It's still failing. It's still without the love and the fantastic love of your life relationship. If they're working to get that, and then all of a sudden you get this little measly crumb, and you're going, oh my God, at least I got fed today. That's a wrong approach.
Nope.
That's a disappointment.
We all deserve the whole loaf, not crumbs.
Yes.
We all deserve.
We deserve everything that is gifted from,
God.
to us, to all of us. So the thing is, how do we honor? Are we doing the right things? Are we doing our due diligence? And the thing is, do not do things that is going to cause people pain. If you already know that person really, we've seen each other at church and whatnot, and we went out a coffee date and so forth. And I really like her. And she's looking at him going, yeah, he's okay. He seems to be a nice guy. He's a little overweight. And I wasn't, attracted to anybody who likes to, work in the so-called this industry. So, but I'll go out because I'm lonely. Now, I can learn to love this person. If that's the case, is that fair? You got to think about that. This comes from a different point of views from all sides, because realistically, this is church dating, church circle. And if this becomes not right, it's better to stop it and say, listen, I don't think this works just because of this, that, and the other, opposed to we got deeper and deeper. I really didn't want to do this, but I felt that I owe it to them So there's some intimacy and whatnot. And ultimately, almost a year later, just didn't work out. So I went with somebody else. Somebody else in church interested in me. So I started talking to that person. And all of a sudden, man, the avalanche comes. I can't believe you would do this to me. Or there's gossip between, did you see what's going on? I thought she was going out with him. And we don't need any of this at church. We didn't need it at office space. So why are we bringing this home to something that's closer to us? That's right. We don't need this in life. So the reason why we're doing this series about, dating online compared to dating in a so-called life environment is to kind of play the pros and cons and really talk it out, and then have you hopefully to be inspired to a point that you start to think about these things, opposed to just going on the instinctive and the emotion of the energy of it. Because often that corners you to a point where you're going, oh, great. Now what's my decision? And when you do that, what happens?
You usually make the wrong decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're forced.
Right.
You're forced to make a decision. So if this decision is going to crush everything, this decision is just not going to work. So it's already lose and lose. You're not winning anything. We want a win-win situation, which is we've found someone that I really think we can build a future with. Let's start paving that road one step at a time. And that to me is worth the patience, the due diligence of one step at a time, dating, meeting each other and understanding each other, maybe have those long conversations.
Absolutely. And for your inner work and your pre-work, pre-date, pre-swipe, whatever it is, pray.
That is
pray
key.
About it.
Absolutely.
God, I'm open to receive what you have in store for me. Lift me up to your will, and be quiet and listen. But prayer is powerful, can be powerful.
Especially when your faith is the cornerstone of your being. And this is a reason why you're dating using a faith-based website, or you're dating at your church meeting place, however. This is your core. This is what resonates with you. So how do you get the most out of that and try to avoid the pitfalls that comes with having to go in this direction? And hopefully that I've brought enough information out and discussed enough to know that there is equally pitfalls in this that we may not be aware. Sometimes it's just very easily to say, hey, we're all believer of God, we're son of God. And now, because we have that understanding, I'm safe with you. So therefore we're friends, and we're going to be good friends. Oh, we're going to be great friends, and we're going to be a great marriage couple. One of the things I was really blown away about, and this is not saying that it happens all the time, but I can't believe how much infidelity actually goes on in dating in a church sometimes. And I've seen this firsthand.
Dating in a church?
Yeah. In other words, someone who's married is having an affair with someone else who's also married.
Oh, not dating, but married people in church. Oh, okay.
So the point was, I brought out the infidelity of it. And the reason why I saw this is because I worked for a faith-based company for a while. And I just could not believe the certain things that was manipulable in how it was being manipulated and how the people that was involved in it. So you have to be aware. Just because you have the heart of gold and your relationship with God is solid, don't think everybody in that circle is. So be very aware. I'm not saying go out and judge them and say, oh, you can't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. But you yourself don't need to be hurt. You don't need to be disappointed. You surely don't need to be used by somebody with lower value and lower morale than yourself. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, depending on what kind of church you go to, I don't know the gossip circles or what have you, but you can only discern with your reactions, your interactions, and who you're interacting with.
That's right.
But in all walks of life, in all areas of values, there's going to be people who are not aligned with who they say they are.
Right.
whatever it is.
Well, that's why I want to bring this point in, and also why we're doing this episode. I don't want this just because of the relationship with you and God and you and the church. All of a sudden, there is a safety net just from it.
Right. And I think that I was guilty of that. A very short window, but thinking, oh yeah, almost like green light. You're good as gold. No, let's take this one step at a time. Right. Let's see who they really are. Let's see how authentic they are, how true and deep they are into their faith, and all of those things that really matter. You know, it's not what somebody says they are, what label they put on themselves, but it's who they are, right? How they act, how they treat people, what they do and say. Yeah. And the top key points that you always want to remember is that don't be in a hurry. Don't act hastily and off emotional energy bursts. Really take your time, trust your heart, your instinctive self, and be good to yourself. In other words, don't compromise just out of the sense of that person's available. They're only fulfilling 70%. So I will just work with the 70% of it. Don't accept crumbs and tell yourself it's the whole cake. Yeah. You deserve the whole cake. I'm quoting. Who are you quoting? Who am I quoting? I don't know. Schlesinger. Oh. What's her first Dr. name? Laura. Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Dr. Laura, she's been in the counseling base for a long time. So, yeah. So, we're about to wrap this up. You going to read a letter? Yep, I've got a letter. Okay, so before we read the letter, what do we need to do is to tell you to like and subscribe our podcast, and the main thing is to share the podcast. Sharing is caring. Yeah. To help us grow, to help you, to help all of us is our agenda, to make sure that we have great society, great relationships, great marriages, and great families. Absolutely. So with that, what are you going to tell us on this wonderful letter? Well, before I read the letter, you can also pick up my book, Miracles Online. It's a GPS to online dating at YAYU Publishing, YAYU Publishing.com. Yeah. And with that, let's close out with this heartfelt letter. Okay. Dear Jeff and Kat, I've been listening to Miracles Online since the beginning. Thank you. And every episode has felt like a gentle nudge back to hope. But this topic, Christian dating online versus in-person church connection, this one hits home. I'm a woman of faith. I love God. I serve, I pray, and I've spent years hoping that my life story would begin in the pews of my church. I pictured us locking eyes over coffee at a small group or laughing during a dating project or during a service project, but it hasn't happened. Lately, I've found myself on Christian Mingle praying before I swipe. Very good. Wondering if God can really move through a dating app. Yes, God moves through everything. Part of me feels guilty, like I'm taking matters into my own hands, but another part of me wonders if this is just another way that God works in modern times. Absolutely. It makes faith and technology don't have to be at odds with each other. I've had conversations with men who say they love Jesus, but their lives don't reflect it. And I've had quiet moments where I log off and ask God, is this really how my miracle begins? That's why this episode, when I heard it was coming, matters, because I know I'm not the only one trying to navigate this tender space between trust and action, between waiting on God and participating in the process. I still believe love rooted in Christ is possible. I still believe my miracle can find me, even online. Thank you both for holding space for this conversation, for reminding us that love, real love, can be sacred no matter where it starts, as long as God's in the center of it. With hope, a reader of Miracles Online. Thank you, reader of Miracles Online, and keep the faith, keep praying, and tune into our next episode. We thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Yeah, God bless everyone. And of course, well, our sponsor is going to take us out, Kingdom Mindset Strategy. Mindset Strategies. And with all that, I'll see you next time. See, that's the best part.
Well done. You've done something that most people only ever dream about. You've started and kept a business alive. And that's a huge achievement and one you should be proud of. Now, I want to help you make that business unbreakable. My name's Adam, and I've spent the last 20 years of my career leading, growing, and building companies and teams for lasting impact. Whether it's in the corporate world, a brand new small business startup, or a 100-year-old family business, I've seen it and I've led it. And what I've learned is building an unbreakable business often requires similar ingredients: clear financial insights, well-built systems, streamlined growth strategies, and optimized operations. Starting with defining your purpose beyond profit, we unlock strategies across every part of your business so that we can arrive at what I call asymmetric endurance, allowing you to get your time back while the business continues to grow, succeed, and achieve its true purpose. If you're ready to build an unbreakable business, let's talk. Book 15 minutes with me today at kingdommindsetstrategies.com.